Hey there! Today is day 12 of the Draw the Circle Prayer Challenge, and I am so excited about today. The lesson started off with a bang. It is called Sow a Seed. And when I tell you, the very first conversation was about the sequoia tree. And this is a massive tree. I mean, 20 feet wide, 300 feet tall, and resistant to all kinds of diseases and things that would come to try to destroy it. And so imagine how deep those roots also run into the ground. And I thought it was so amazing. Something that I underlined in my book says that the power of a single seed, because it talks about how this seed itself, this tree, the sequoia tree, it can itself produce over 400,000 times the power of a single seed. What are you planting in your prayer life? It goes on to talk about how a watermelon is produced from this single black seed that produces a fruit that has a green out exterior with a white rind, and then this pink, red, fleshy meat that also has seeds within it that's available and capable of producing another 200,000 times. I mean, or getting larger. It reproduces itself to the size of watermelon, which is 200,000 times the size of its seed. Okay. So again, how can you explain that? So when someone approaches you to ask you to explain God, we can't even get to the level of explaining God when we struggle with even being able to explain how a watermelon seed produces what it produces. The mustard seed was the highlight, and that's where the lesson comes from Matthew 17:21. And I just thought how amazing how the content was shared on tonight. There was something else that I underlined because it spoke specifically to me. I had a dream that last started over 20 years ago, excuse me, not 200, 20 years ago. It was just to start a women's organization. And he talks about his dream of wanting to write 13 years later. So these seeds that are planted, it oftentimes may not reproduce the very next year. And in fact, he talks about Honey, which is the character in the book, The Circle Maker, and how he came upon someone that was planting a tree, and he asked how long would it take for it to reproduce fruit? And his response was about 70 years. And so then there's that realization that it's not going to produce fruit within his lifetime, the likelihood of it producing after his life has expanded. And he said, that's okay, because the trees that I grew up with were planted by my father and my grandfather. And so here he's planting a tree, not for himself, but for his children and his grandchildren. And so the things that we're planning today in prayer, the things that we're asking and seeking God for, those may not produce in your season, in your lifetime. Perhaps it is for legacy. Perhaps it is a seed planted today that will reproduce later and for the next generation. Again, the conclusion is always dynamic. It says, if we do little things like they are big things, God will do big things like they're little things. So excited about this lesson on tonight. It just really blessed me. We'll do day 13 on tomorrow as we continue with the Draw the Circle Prayer Challenge. Look forward to connecting with you on today and tomorrow. All right, y'all. Jayla's out of town, so I have to start and stop and all that tonight, but lots of fun. I look forward to connecting with you.